What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Brand Doctor podcast. We are streaming live once again, and today's topic of conversation is, do you want clients to refer you out to their network? And not only their network, but their entire audience. Let's talk about this today. See, one of the big issues that I see here is business owners, solopreneurs, coaches, consultants, they don't have the customer's experience top of mind when it comes to doing the day-to-day business stuff that generates more referral work. Because guys, let's face it, referrals are a great way to generate new business. I'm not going to say it's the best way, because you don't want to rely on referrals all the time, right? But referral business is so great because the person that's referring has already talked you up, right? Oh, you got to use this guy or you got to use this gal, right? They've helped me so much. And so now that person comes pre-framed and pumped up like, oh, maybe this could be the solution that I've been looking for this whole time. So to not pay attention to the customer's experience after they interact with you, or even the split second that they start to interact with you, is really doing you and your business a huge disservice. So if you want more referrals, if you want more positive reviews, if you want your audience to start sharing your stuff more and calling you out, telling everybody how awesome you are and how much you help them, then let's focus on one little thing that you could start doing and paying attention to today inside of your business to help you build up that reputation and start getting people referring you out to their colleagues and network and audience. The first thing I want you guys to start paying attention to is milestones and check-ins. This is not a new idea or concept by any means, but I see a lot of service providers not paying attention to their processes and systems when a new client comes on board. Okay? I have a system inside of my business that is pretty close to airproof and leak proof as possible. What do I mean by that? I've spent dozens of hours and close to $20,000 in the processes and systems inside of my business to make sure that what happened in 2017 will never happen again. It was a huge wake-up call for me. And I don't want this to happen again. For those folks that don't know, you could go look at past episodes. I talk about it a lot. But back then, I did not have my processes and systems in place. A lot of things fell through the cracks. And it wasn't like I wanted to do bad work. It was, I didn't have a smooth flow or workflow for my clients to come through. And when you're doing large-scale projects like I do, like brand identity, logo design, funnel build and architecture, websites, integrating everything together, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of connections that need to be made. And if you don't have a checks and balances system internally to make sure that everything gets plugged in properly, there's a lot that could go wrong. And it did. And I remember falling flat on my face saying, I don't want this to happen anymore. I will do what it takes to fix this. So let me give you a quick example. So we're juggling about 4 projects right now. And I love it because the system is maintaining the stress of the 4 clients right now. And it's great. I could probably take on about 3 more clients probably between now and the end of the year to make sure that my business stays at the quality of service that I want it to stay at. Okay. But one of the things that I do with all of my clients, and you could go to my website and call all the references that are on the site. I actually encourage you to do that before you even think about engaging in my business and calling me up asking for help. Okay. One of the things that you'll see over and over and over in testimonies and what they'll say about me and my and the process is, man, this guy, you could tell this wasn't his first rodeo. This guy could do this stuff in his sleep. And we could tell that because of the process that he's taken us through to help us get the results that we're looking for. I'll give you a quick example. One of the biggest, most intricate, most sensitive pieces of the whole puzzle when we're building out brands is the development part and the quality assurance part. It's actually all the way at the end because you have all these things that need to get integrated and plugged in. And I'll give you a real-time example. We're working with a client right now. We're about to launch. Now I'm aggressive, so I'll try to push for a quicker launch date because I want my team working at 12 cylinders at all time. And yeah, I want to get them launched so they could start making money, you know? And what we realized was there were some things not in our control that we needed from the client. So it held us back a little bit. We needed to get certain things on the GoDaddy. I'm getting a little in the weeds here, but we needed some integrations or access to GoDaddy's back end, and we needed to wait for that to come through from the client in order to get what we needed done. So the one thing that we realized was the site is not going to launch on Friday. It's not. And that was me being super aggressive in trying to get this done in a week. Okay. So blame me for being super aggressive here. Okay. But I reached out to him and I gave him a very clear explanation. I said, I'm going to be honest with you. And this was, pay attention to the timing here. When I knew that Friday was not going to be in the cards, I knew this around Tuesday, Wednesday. I did not delay one bit. On Wednesday, it was about late afternoon, or I should say early afternoon. I immediately went into my project management software, reached out to the client and said, now that we're getting closer to the end of the week, I'm seeing where we are and seeing how we're progressing. Doesn't look like Friday's going to happen for a launch. Realistically speaking, we're looking at an early next week launch. And I said straight out, I'm being wide open with you here. That was me being aggressive because I like to push. And I know my client at this point, I've spent probably 60 hours with him thus far. I know he appreciates that. So I just wanted to remind him that this is why I pushed for Friday. Unfortunately, we didn't make the cut. I'm not going to cry about it, but I'm going to make sure that we're on schedule for early next week launch. Hell, we're still even waiting for a couple of videos to plug into the site that we haven't gotten yet from the client because he's still waiting for the videos to get finished from his other vendor. So I communicate that 48 hours in advance. Now, if I were to reach out to him this morning and say, sorry, pal, we're not launching, what kind of customer experience am I delivering for that client? A shitty one, quite frankly. So always being ahead of your clients, always anticipating the need, always considering how you would like to be treated in instances like this is so important. Keep the experience of the customer, of your customer top of mind. So let's visualize this for a second, okay? Let's think back to a phenomenal vacation that you went on in your lifetime. Could be last week, could be, well, probably not last week due to COVID, but it could be last year, could have been a couple years ago. Let's think back to a resort that you've stayed at. You walk in the front door, they're waiting for you. I love the Caribbean. So, you walk into the resort, you got the Calypso band on the side with the steel drums. You got hostess there waiting with drinks there, ready to hand them to you. You have everything, like they've anticipated every need that you could possibly think of before you even walked in the door and put your suitcase down. How does that make you feel? You're like, this is why I picked this place. These are all the things that I've read and watched on the reviews in real time. So I get frustrated with this because I'm going to be honest with you. Now that I've figured this out and I keep customer experience top of mind at all times, and I'm coaching all my Brand Accelerator clients to do the same, and even you guys today, I get mad because I'm like, well, now that you know this, you should apply this immediately, and there should be no excuses, especially if you're charging a premium for your service. But I see a lot of people still just not pay attention to this. For whatever reason, maybe, and I'm just saying, maybe your experience is the same as mine was in 2017. Maybe you don't mean to not check in with your clients, but you're spread so damn thin, or you don't have a process or system in place on the back end that it just slips your mind. Right? I don't know if there's anybody out there that owns a business that wants to deliver shitty work. Oh, I hope not. Otherwise, you're in the wrong business. You're going to get eaten alive. I think it just comes down to preparation and organization. And having that sixth sense. See, you're ahead of the curve when you start to think about customer experience when it comes to building your brand's reputation online. When you keep that top of mind, you are so far ahead of your competition, you don't even know it yet. So my emphasis here is anticipation of need and putting yourself in the client's shoes and asking yourself, would I want to be left in the dark on a project that I spent top dollar on? Probably not. So I'll give you a quick example. I didn't have to reach out to my client today because I spoke to him on Wednesday and I told him, looks like early next week that we're going to launch. But I did it anyway because it was 48 hours since the last time we connected. And I wrote him a little something. So again, I've built up this relationship with this client because I spent quite a bit of time with him already, right? I wrote to him, I said, what's going on, my man? Just checking in, giving you a quick little heads up. We're still doing all the QA on the 7 pages plus the funnel. We want to make sure that the desktop version is looking sharp. We want to make sure that the mobile version is on point. We want to make sure everything's connected and properly installed. So realistically speaking, like I said on Wednesday, we're looking at an early next week launch. So I just wanted to touch base to let you know that we're still working on everything. And then I was joking around with him. I says, could I get you a drink in the meantime? With a little smiley face. Right? Because in my head at that moment, I'm thinking, I'm the manager of this 5-star hotel that he just, that he booked a reservation to 2 months ago. And I am the head of, customer relations. I want to make this person feel comfortable. I want to assure them or reassure them that we are doing everything that we can to make sure that we hit our launch date for next week early. And I'm joking around with them, right? You want to be playful. Especially if you know the client, you want to be playful. But I treated him like he was walking into a 5-star hotel. And I continuously treated him through that whole experience. And he knows that. That's the difference. People want to say, well, why do you charge so much for what you do, Henry? And, I could probably do this half as cheap than what you charge. Yeah, you probably can. But let's see the service and the experience that you get. That's it in a nutshell. Right? So, again, let me just say this here because this was on my mind too this morning when I was prepping for this episode and I was doing my outline. I don't want you guys to watch this or listen to this and say, oh God, sounds like Henry's going on his soapbox again, and he's boasting about his business and how good it is. That's not what I'm trying to do here, guys. Okay? It's not what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to share with you some experiences that I've had in the past that kicked me in the face and almost had me go out of business because I didn't think of customer experience as important. And I'm showing you real-time examples of what I am doing. And I want to give those to you so that you can take whatever you want from that and start to implement that into your business. I had a very interesting conversation this morning with one of my branding colleagues. We meet every Friday and we go over branding stuff, and we challenge each other. We do role plays and sales, and it's a lot of fun. And he asked me a question today, like, what's the big picture here, like behind your brand, behind Unique Designz, behind the brand doctor, behind everything that you do? And I said, that's a great question. You know, that answer lies dormant in my head for so long because I never had the opportunity to say it. So I appreciate you asking me the question. I said, you know what it is? I've been put on this earth to help people design lives and design businesses that they're proud of. I was gifted and blessed to experience this, so I want to give that to other people. How do I do that? Well, I just happen to be in branding and have built out a team to help people scale and build their businesses online so that they can enjoy their business, they can enjoy their life, and really be happy with what they've built, be proud of what they built. I was on a sales call this morning, and the guy said today, I said, what do you want? You know, what's the purpose behind you wanting this branding help? And he said, I want to be portrayed as a valuable asset. That's it. And I was like, I can resonate with that. I can resonate with that. So that's my question for you guys today. As we wrap up, what does your customer experience look like? What is the overarching goal that you're trying to achieve for the clients that you serve? What do you want to be remembered as? The person that's got it together, that's always 3-4 steps ahead of the person that they're helping, or the person that's always behind the 8 ball trying to catch up? And then when a client asks you a question, it throws you off and you feel like you're stumbling, and now imposter syndrome comes in and you're like, oh my God, maybe I shouldn't even be doing this. Maybe I should just quit. Maybe I should just give up. Maybe I should just go get a job somewhere because I'm not cut out for all of this stuff. And you start doubting yourself. Well, what if you just prepped ahead of time? What if you had a system in place that mapped all this out ahead of time? What if you did what Mary Massey says here on one of the comments here? She sets reminders to follow up and to think how I want to be treated. So important, right? What if you start doing that? How is that going to translate? You think people are going to refer you out? You think people are going to talk about you? You think people are going to tell their audience how good you are? Probably. So I just hope this resonates with you guys. I hope you learned something from my experiences and you do something about it. Because I think what's holding a lot of people back from scaling their business and getting more referrals and building their reputation as a brand is they do not have their customer experience top of mind, and they don't have the proper infrastructure on the back end to sustain it and withstand it. So when you get 3 or 4 clients at once, or 5, 6, or maybe you work at scale, that your back end system actually can manage all of that and still deliver a phenomenal experience for your customers. Don't sleep on customer experience, guys, and don't sleep on processes and systems internally. Right? This is a lot of the infrastructural work that I do with clients before we even start to build funnels, before we even start to build brand identities and start to position them as the obvious choice online. If I can't help you do that or help you form that infrastructure, you're going to be a sitting duck once you launch. And things are going to come crashing down quickly. Why do I know this? Because it's happened to me a couple of times, and I've seen it happen dozens of times with other companies. So let's build a strong customer experience so that when a client comes through that process, they're still talking about you 3-4 years after they used your service. God knows how many referrals that's going to generate. So I'm going to say it, and this might piss a couple people off, but when it comes into investing in your customer's experience, don't be cheap. Don't skimp out on that. What's more important? Your reputation now and for years to come? Or for you to take the cheap route out and just get it done half-assed because you don't feel like spending the money or putting in the time and work? I'll leave you with that, guys. Have an amazing day. Drop some comments, drop some questions. You guys know how to get me. If you guys are listening on Spotify or iTunes, drop me a DM on Instagram. Let me know if this was helpful. If you find this episode helpful, please share it out to other people. I want to see you guys win. I want to see you guys design a business that you're super proud to promote. And I want to see you design a life that you're happy with. Have an amazing day. I'll catch you on the next episode.